Sure, this is muted. All right, let's see. And did I do the? Oh, it's not the first. It's the second. I named the stream wrong. Fuck me. All right. Welcome to Guarantee News. It is a Friday. I am your host, Garrett Sims. You may be wondering, Garrett, you said that you weren't going to film for a week. You know, you said you were going to do 10 episodes, and you said after this week you'd be at the 10 episodes, and then you were going to take your week break. Why are you streaming right now? Why are you filming on this Friday when you should be relaxing? But most importantly, figuring out how to make your show better. I'm doing like a friend hall or a town hall where basically, and I guess this is a good thing, my friends basically just want to talk shit about me. About about my show, not about my show, but about my takes and my politics and my beliefs with the show. And they want me to come on stream so they can basically ask a bunch of questions. Some of them will be good, some of them will be stupid, some of them will be funny. But most importantly, like, the thing about it is, like, from a serious standpoint, the reason that I want to do this is because I did always say, like, or I do fuck with journalism because it's not about, it's a way for me to easily mentally say to myself, it's not about me, it's about telling the facts, and it's about, I guess in this world, telling my opinion, but most importantly, telling the facts as I perceive them to be, being knowledgeable, and then giving that to people and letting them decide what they think and how they feel from it. That is the only desire, or that's the main desire of me as a journalist. And if I have people, even people who are my friends, or even people who are being rude, or I don't think they're really being nice about it, I guess I can say in the shortest of ways, I can still feel like it is necessary for me to talk to people, to say how I feel, or to at least tell the facts. So that's the reason for this impromptu episode of Guarantee News. I wasn't even going to do this right now, but we're here, so let's do it. And let me just do that. Okay. Oh my God, they're texting me right now. They've literally been texting me. Okay. Okay. And I'll send the link. Will I ever get credit for being, I guess, fucking just intelligent and awesome and honest and impressive as I am? Probably not the efficient amount that I would like, but, GSTEWDIOS. Probably not the exact amount that I would want, but all right. Okay. Let's start off with the episode, I guess, officially. I only plan on this being like 45 minutes to an hour. Guarantee News, your host, Garrett Sims. This is an impromptu episode, but it's going to be the same as every other episode of Guarantee News. We're going to start off with a little K-Ferg 500, and then it's the fucking Olympics, so I have to talk about the Olympics, but that shit fucking sucks. You show an Olympic video for 2 seconds. I'm kind of scared about even showing anything with the Olympics, because you show something from the Olympics, you show a picture, and my video is getting like taken down. Like the last 2 streams I had to cut out fucking 4-minute portions about the Olympics. So we're gonna figure out how I can talk about the Olympics, still be entertaining, but not show any clips, because I don't want to get the stream cut off, and most importantly, I don't want it to get taken down, because I gotta make clips with this shit. But yeah, like I said in the intro, this episode is, unusual. I shouldn't be filming today, but I'm filming because I'm trying to be a journalist and say how I feel and tell facts. But even if that is the case, this is still Guarantee News. We haven't got on the week break yet, where you guys are going to see the show switch up. So I'm going to do this the same way I do every single show. And, yeah, come back for the part you want to hear if you want. But we're going to do this the same way we always do it. And that's by starting off, we're going to play a couple K-Ferg 500 songs just to get the stream started. What do I want to play? Is it Blowout? Tell that pussy nigga it's a blowout. What is it? Hold on. Oh, it's Is it March Madness? What song do I want to play? It's not March Madness. Hold on. Bear with me while I find it. We're going to play 2K for 500 songs. We're going to talk about the Olympics a little bit. I have a really good... It's not even a take, honestly. There's no take about it. But with the Olympics, I have something really interesting to talk about with that. And I think it's going to get right into, like, the reason for this stream, which is politics, the race that's going on right now, the election. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word, but my Olympic story, one of them, I think it's good. And I think it's going to probably particularly piss some people off, but it's factual. So it's factual, so I feel like it's my job to say the facts, even if it makes people mad or happy. A different conversation for another day. All right, enough yapping. This is Rolling Loud by K-Ferg 500. Depending on how I feel with this song, we may just get straight to the stream.
From idea to submission, empower students to do
the... Fuck these ads. Give me what I pay for. I'm just kidding. I don't pay for shit for this. I'm not feeling that today. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't prepare at all. I didn't do any of the normal stuff I do for a stream. You're gonna see. He say, she say. You guys are gonna see, but it'll still be good because I'm fucking Garrett and the knowledge is all up here. Plan or no plan. All right. This is He Say, She Say by K-Ferg 500 and Mono Mike. This is gonna get me right. It always does a trick for me.
Unless you bring the light skin friend with the curly hair. Yeah, that's what I like. Told little baby I'm a real nigga. Can't fuck with he say or she say. Man down. Hit him with that AK. Gun down, run down. We caught that nigga broad day. Niggas gon' cap. They be acting like it's Broadway. Smoking on some cookie with that ice cream. Sorbet. Bad bitch with me and she look just like Lorraine. Niggas they be losing cause them niggas never scoring. Load up the bus but we not going touring. She got a visa, not banking, she foreign. 223s and I ain't talking about Jordan. When I eat the chicken, only chicken eat is Jordans. Off-white ones, only time I wear Jordans. 500 gang drive like Jeff Gordon. Free my nigga.
I mean, honestly, just to give a little bit of a preview, that won gold, it is better than transgender. Like your word, I know you're making a joke, but the word it, I'll get to it in a second.
Nigga was born to flex since I was on VHS. Now my neck on BBS. Got drugs like I'm CVS. Mama want a meal too. That's why I don't get no rest. That's why I don't even sleep. On the move, can't even think. I was all alone, but helped you out. Look what you did to me. Had to leave you alone, cause this shit ain't what it seemed to be. Addicted to the lifestyle. You look like a fan to me. Benji bleed, watch the dust cry. How would you feel to watch my love die? Took every risk for you, I did it, I don't know why. But now my whole studio talking sky. Foreign after foreign, don't speak my language. We breaking law, we ain't cared if it's sanctioned. Niggas be fake, but this a different type fugazi. Cloudy your diamonds while your stones looking so hazy. Smoke on that dope till I'm Chinese. I already need Vizzy. Swerving the coupe with the high beams. I do the dash like high speed. She drinking up like high C. Days low, don't try me. I'm on no boat, niggas, somewhere where your wife be. Yo niggas is snitching, who you kidding? Get them going good riddance. I was in the trap moving pigeons. You was in the trap moving midget. White bitch stick, move the coke, call it Bridget.
Yeah, now check it. Hit from the back, grab a neck like I'm wrestling. Yeah, now check it. You know what's up, girl, I'm in the cut like infections. Hey, lil' mama, heard you wanna be mine. And lil' mama know my dreams number 9. Connected with the guap, yeah, we gotta intertwine. You would think he blind when my brother throwing signs. Yeah, now check it. Hit from the back, grab a neck like I'm wrestling. Yeah, now check it. You know what's up, girl, I'm in a cut like infections.
I said this last time. I'm not looking at the text while I do this. because you guys are gonna have a completely different conversation in the text, and it's gonna just piss me off, and it's gonna mess up my flow. I'm doing this for my friends, but this is still guaranteed news. This is still a news show, so all the fucked up talking that you guys be doing, I can't look at the group chat. You have a delay. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. What does that mean? Like a delay between my mouth moving and the words? I'm about to call you, bro. Hold on. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to play another song, though. We're going to get straight to the Olympics, and I'm just going to call. I mean, this. You know, I'm caught off of doing this like a real guaranteed news show and like trying to be more professional or just literally saying fuck it and just being what I would call unprofessional. Hold on, let me call Ro. All right, but we're going to multitask. We're going to start off with the Olympics, and I want to show... Hold on, let me mute my mic. Hold on. Camby, eat a dick. Here, I'll call you back. Okay. Can you still see it? Does it still look bad?
No, it's good now. It was only when you were singing to the song
Type shit. All right, bet. In public service announcement right now, because it's just my friends watching, and the only other person who would join would be Delano, because he watches live. Say it in the chat, you know. I'm not gonna read. I know you guys are gonna just talk shit in the group chat, the real group chat. That's cool, but like, say it in this chat if you really want me to respond to it. Don't be fucking pussy. Yeah. But all right, welcome to Guarantee News Friday, August 2nd. It's a new month. Again, I started the show off by saying if you usually watch Guarantee News, you're probably asking yourself, Garrett, why are you streaming on a Friday? You did your 10 episodes this season. You said you were going to do 10 episodes and take a week break. We weren't expecting you to be streaming today. I know. The only reason I'm streaming today is because, you know, I've been called out essentially to say my opinion, to say how I feel. But most importantly, I feel like to say what I feel like is the facts. And then I guess say my opinion on with that. But with Guarantee News, with anything like this, when I'm in this position, I feel like the main thing that I'm going to be worried about is trying to say the facts first and kind of how I look at what's going on or look what's happening, or I may read an article or I may look at a video, and then I'm going to perceive that as the facts. My first instinct right now is to not just say my opinion. I know that's what you guys want, so I'm going to do it. But I'm going to go with my first instinct, and then as you guys ask my opinion or you guys say that's not a fact, that's bullshit, or go with it. But that's why, if you're wondering why am I streaming, if you watch Guaranteed News normally, and I said to you guys last week I wouldn't be streaming this week or next week, and you're asking why I'm streaming, that's why. Again, last thing, I say this to everyone, even if it is my friends watching. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, even though you guys do piss me off. All right, let's get to this. Let's get to the Olympics. First story is happy. Cole Hawker from Indianapolis, Indiana, went to middle school with him, went to high school right down the street from him. He participated in the Olympics this morning at 5 in the morning, and I watched the race. First of all, I made a bet on the thing. I don't understand everything. I was thinking that, you know, I thought he was going to get the medal or it was going to be all done today. So I made 2 bets on FanDuel very confidently with a good amount of money. And now I don't know what's going to happen because I just found out that apparently there's going to be it's like swimming, which I should have known, but I didn't. But so today Cole this morning he had his first like pre-trial race, and basically it's for the mile, right? Yeah, the 1500, that's a mile. And if it's not, someone please keep me honest. But he had the first pre-trial today, and I was watching it, and I can't tell somebody who knows track, if Gavin's watching right now, because I know you used to run cross country. I don't know if this is like the way you run, like a running style, or if this is like a cool thing. But I was like scared that it was like top 6, and like he was like hanging back for like a lot, like bro, like the first like lap and a half, he was maybe top 6, but it was just looked ugly, like it was just weird. And then that last little 100. He turned on the jets and then easily got to second place. So then, I mean, obviously, so that's strategy. Obviously, 6 people, like the way that it is, I think it was three heats and 6 people from each heat go on and move on to the final. So obviously the thinking is I just got to be in this top 6. I would say that he's very confident. Like, seeing the way he ran that and watching the heats, like, some people were like, you could tell their goal was to be in the front, like from the beginning, to hang with the front. And then you saw some other people, like there was another guy, I guess he's from Great Britain. He was the winner of I think of last Olympics, or maybe like the national championships. Again, I'm not really too sure if like track outside of the Olympics. But it was like this Britain guy, he did what Cole did, even worse. And I like he was literally in last for 3 laps, and then he just turned it on. So I guess that's obviously, I would say, because this is like the first race, I would say that that's just a running, like a way, like a style or a strategy. I don't want to talk for too long. The only reason I say this is to say, in my selfish way, I do want Cole to get the gold, but I also want him to win for my bet so I can make my money. And I don't, for the sake, I do not want him to run like that in the finals. You're saying this is how he always does it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not be, I would like to see you like maybe middle of the pack. And then the last thing I'll say about this is I did do some research, and everybody says like he has like a crazy kick speed. So you saying that's how he does it always, I could see it, but I don't. That's not, that shit, there's no way he's doing that. What he did this morning, there's no way he's doing that on Tuesday in the final. That's all I'm saying. Cole, everybody from Indiana is praying for you. We're watching you. This is definitely going to be something I clip. Like, this is fucking exciting, bro. He's a fucking Olympian. No matter what he does, no matter what, if he wins or if he medals or if I lose my money, I'm always going to be happy putting my money on somebody that's from my fucking town, that's from where I grew up from. And obviously, he's a dog. He deserves it. You have to put the work in to get to where he is, so you can't do anything but respect it. I'll always be happy putting my money on that. All right. That was the good Olympic story. Now it's the Olympic story. This is going to be the one that, I mean, it's going to piss people off. Well, let me not get to the point before I get to the story. Let me take my time. Never. To your question, have I ever watched him before? Never. Should I move chat? I'm not used to having this many people in chat. That's just kind of crazy to say. I should get used to it, but I'm not. Okay, because it is in the way. So, all right. Let me just say, and I think my video will get stopped, so let me not even show this all the way. How do I want to introduce this? So there's an Italian, and, or let me just I can just look it up. I had a really good article. And I'm not gonna go through the article because I know you guys don't want to see me go through an article. It's boring. This AP, I think it was this story. Okay, who is Italian boxer Angela Carini, and why did she clear her fight against Iman Khalif? I know I'm gonna be pronouncing names wrong, so lives of TikTok is crazy. But you know what the thing about it is? This is interesting, and I knew one of you guys were gonna say this, and I forgot about it, but I'm glad you did. This is to tell you guys that I'm really. Okay, I don't know. This is to tell you guys like how honest I am, because I really don't care. This is Libs of TikTok. They're saying Angela Clooney was forced to compete in a boxing match against Iman Khalif at the Olympics. She quit 45 seconds in after getting punched in the face. Iman was declared the winner. Khalif failed gender eligibility test at the 2003 World Championships. Poor girl. She trained her whole life for this. The Olympics sanctions violence against women. So even with the Libs of TikTok, because I just be looking at stuff on Twitter or wherever I am, and if it's good and I want it for later, I save it. Of course I don't follow a page like this, but even this, the tone of what they're saying, you would think from an account like Lib Talk, the last quote of what this is wouldn't be poor girl, she trained her whole life for this. You would be thinking like with liberals, it's going to be more of the mindset of, oh yeah, we need to let them box, or transgenders, whatever it is. I'll get to the point of this because everybody in here has already seen this, and if you haven't seen this, go read the Associated Press article on this, because no matter what you think, if you're somebody saying the Associated Press is biased, you just don't like journalism. So you can read this comfortably. It's no opinion in this, and it will tell you what happened. But this is the point I want to get to is, and I think it's in the Associated Press article. I'll just come out and say it. This caused, and I was angry about this, and I think anybody I think anybody who's being fair and objective would be frustrated by this. And again, I don't want the video to get taken down because they're so fucking specific with the Olympic shit. But anybody with a brain would get mad at this. When you first hear this, it was presented as this is a woman. This is a person that was born as a man, was turned into a transgender, like became a woman, and now she's being able to compete in the Olympics because the Olympic sanctions have slower rules or less rules about the gender and what it is and the testing and all that stuff. That's for people much smarter than me to get into all that testing, right? But if you just are a normal person, I hate saying words like this, but I feel like it's easy for me to say most people would not like a person born as a man switching their gender and then going and competing in that gender. And I was outraged. I was frustrated. It was one of those things where it's like, fuck, I hate that. I have like left-leaning views and that I'm probably most likely going to vote left. Like there's some things where I feel like whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, if you're objective, you look at your side do something and you're like, or the side that you're voting for. Because I do strictly believe that I am, I guess, an independent. But for the sake of this election and this stream, we'll just call me a Democrat because it's going to be easier for what's going to come down the line. But I was looking at this and like, this is frustrating. And then because it's just interesting. I always read articles and I'm not going to just ever look at Twitter. I read this and I'll get to the point. She was born a woman. This person was born a woman. And and again, this is for people smarter than me. I'm telling you the facts. Look it up. And I'm going to bring the end of this to connect to where I'm about to go with what you guys are all here for. We have a thing, and it's dangerous in our society, where you can act, because it happened to me. You can see something, right? And then you'll see it immediately, and you'll just believe it as what it is, because that's the normal human thing to do. You see something, you just don't assume somebody's lying or exaggerating, right? So I saw this and I believed it. Transgender in boxing. There was also a report saying that she failed like the 2023, like the gender test or the shit that you do to like basically say what your gender is. She failed it. So like that league in 2023 kicked her out, and that they were using that as like something I just kept seeing, and this uses in that article. Like they use that as kind of like a backing point of like, this is like a transgender. She's failing the gender test. And when I looked into it, and you're finding it in this article too, I guess I could kind of go through it. But this person was born as, let me see, she was born as a woman, but there's some type of like XY chromosome thing. I don't want to get into it because again, this is for people smarter than me, for sure. And if you know me, I consider myself to be one of the smartest people I've come across. But there's like something, and I know you've heard about it before, but like you'll be a woman, but you're born with male genitals, or your sex organs don't match up with it. And I want to get to it. I want to read it because it's, and the Twitter thing I feel like is, I mean, I'll go to the tweet too, cause I have it ready, but I know the tweet's not going to be enough. And cause I just spent time talking about Twitter. And for the record, I'm not saying whether, because this guy's getting killed for what I'm basically saying. And for the record, I'm not saying whether she should have been able to compete or not. And I guess that's the question too. Well, let me see the first tweet. Okay. Because I don't want to go to C before I'm at, or I don't want to go to Z before I'm at like G or whatever. You get the point. Khalif is not transgender or transsexual. She is a biological woman in Algeria, the country that Khalif presents. Transgender identity is prohibited, as is changing sex or gender or hormonal treatment to transition to another sex. But this isn't good enough. This isn't giving to the facts that it was. Maybe this does it. And another thing then, not to get off topic, but yeah, she is from like Algeria, or just not trying to be fried, but just looking from the country, she seems to be, or they or he seems to be Middle Eastern. And I would think like that would be one of the last places where you'd be able to support yourself and go for that shit. But let's look. And for the record, I'm not saying whether she should have been able to compete or not, because she shouldn't have. Because if you have the XY, this is another conversation for people smarter than me. This is me giving my opinion. There has to be a conversation about that. Like, she's obviously stronger, and because you were born with like male, I don't know what it is, male genitalia, or maybe you have a vagina and you have higher testosterone. Smarter people than me, but she was born a woman, but she has male qualities, so she's obviously stronger. You should not be able to box. Let me get that straight. That being said, this became a conversation on Twitter for me, for people around everywhere, of like, oh, look at these liberals trying, and the liberals are doing this. But look at these liberals that are trying to let transgenders into sports. This is disgusting. This woman trained her whole life for this. This isn't fair. And it's not fair. And she did train her whole life for it was not fair. And she did train her whole life for this. And I think people should be angry, and we do need to have a conversation about who's being led in sports or not. But this is the thing about our society. We have to have the conversation in a right way. And if we're just having it in a wrong way, because the transgender one is more spicy, pause, it's more entertaining, it's going to get more clicks, it's going to get more views, and people aren't going to shit talk you. Like, this guy, don't know who he is. Again, I just found him here. I would guarantee he is a journalist or cares somewhat about truth. I mean, right here, he has something for, I don't know what he is, but he does seem to be more left leaning. But if him posting this on TikTok, like, he knew he was going to get shit. But let's look. Yes, a biological woman can have XY chromosomes due to certain genetic conditions. One prominent example is complete androgen insensity syndrome. And I'm not going to bullshit you guys, because this pissed me off too. We're going to Google it. We're going to do this off stream. And this is why I'm not going to be on stream for live. And we'll get to me talking about this when I get to the politics. But because I'm not going to just say bullshit. We're going to look it up. This is why I stream. This is part of why I stream like this, is so you can just, if you catch me slipping lying, I'm going to look it up and I'm going to say I'm not right. I have no reason to not, in this capacity, to not do that, because my journalistic integrity, I care about it. What is complete androgen insensitivity? Complete androgen insensitivity syndrome, where testosterone has no effect on sex development, so the genitals are entirely female. Partial androgen insensitivity syndrome, where testosterone has some effect on sex development, so the genitals are often, basically something happened to this woman you can call it. I'm not going to do that, but if you say that, I'm not saying you're wrong. Something happened where an individual has XY chromosomes but is resistant to androgens, male hormones. As a result, they develop female external genitalia and secondary sexual characteristics despite having a typical male chromosomal pattern. And I want to show it in our Social Press article, because Twitter, I'm always open to the argument of, if you see it on Twitter, this is bullshit. If one of you says Associated Press, I'll be happy if one of you say it honestly, because then I'll feel very comfortable not debating with you. But if you see something in, this is good work, Garrett. Never heard of this weird shit. I never know, bro. This is another, like, my friends, bro. Like, I wish sometimes more people, like, people outside of you guys were watching this. I can't even tell if you're being sarcastic or if that was like a real compliment. So I'm just gonna move on, and let me move the chat box. But let me see. Like, I want to find it. I want because I read it in this article. I'm not bullshitting, but it's always hard to skim articles. That's like, I've always had a problem with that. Her actions sparked a discussion about pairs where had been allowed to compete after failing an unspecified gender, and that's why you're gonna fail. That's why you're gonna fail the gender eligibility test, obviously. And I guess we'll move on. I made the point. This, I guess, to be, because with you guys right now, because I know in 5 minutes you guys are gonna be on my ass. So I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to work from like a really not personal standpoint. I really do want to be what I would call honest, which you guys would call whatever you're going to call it. This is what she's saying she could have. This is just giving you an example. Nothing has came out about what this person actually has, what she actually is, and what it is. But I've read multiple articles. I've looked at multiple things. I can say that she's not a transgender. And every argument of like bringing that transgender into sports, why I think it's an argument that needs to be had, why I think I agree with the sentiment. And I was also angry. Having good conversations in an unfair, unhonest, unjust, dangerous way, it makes the fair conversation seem less important. It makes it easier for people who are on the other side being unfair, which would be liberals, to now, like, if I wanted to be unfair, I could spin this. Like, oh, look at social media, they're doing this. This is what the right does. And I'm not going to do that, because I mean, that it happened to me. Everybody seeing this is going to think that. And she looks like a man. No disrespect. But I just want to say, I think we're in a, and this is like with me even being a journalist, like you could say I'm stupid from, like you could say like from a business standpoint, I'm stupid for how I am trying to do this. And that's why I'm going to stop in a week and we're going to reevaluate. And that's another conversation. I want to get into that. But there's something to be said for society nowadays where if you can create a story or say something that sounds right and is exciting and most likely brings up anger, Just something I'm noticing, trying to be honest. It will click more than the truth. Because even when I saw that this in the Associated Press, I thought to myself, I was kind of like upset, or I was like kind of like angry, or I was like, and then even bringing this, like I wasn't going to talk about it because I wasn't going to film today. I was gonna like, I almost didn't want to say it because I was like, oh, I'm going to be the Debbie Downer. I'm going to be like, who likes the, who likes the guy telling the truth? Like, that's what it is today in today's world. And I will get this to move directly into the conversation that you guys are all here for, which is politics. I think we're in an interesting place where you're able to not lie, because this isn't a lie. And I don't even know who the original person that said this was. I didn't watch it live. I don't know if the commentators were saying, I don't know where this started. I don't know if the person did it knowing or and lying on purpose, or if they did it not knowing and putting it out, because again, she looks like a man and everything with that. And okay. But when you get more credit, love, support for telling a half truth than you do for telling the full truth, that's why you see CNN, Fox News, social media, your favorite podcaster. Like, if you're in today's world trying to be based off, and I haven't read the chat in a little bit. I will, but I don't want to lose my train of thought. I'm not ignoring. It's just scary to me. So, and I'll leave it there because I could talk about that. But that's where I'm gonna get into with the Kamala. I guess I have a tweet ready, but now this isn't gonna be the best. I didn't do the switch. I didn't nail it, the switch over. But we're talking about politics now. I probably could have did that switch better in my head, but it is what it is. We're talking about politics now. And let me go. Where do I want to start? Bear with me and let me see. And I'm going to watch stream. Have you watched him before? Libs of TikTok. This is how he will do it, Garrett. Buckle up. Yeah, it is Izzy. The poor girl. It was Kev. I mean, it is that poor girl. I mean, that girl, they shouldn't have been boxing. I already said that. I wouldn't get into it. That she should not. They don't even know how to do this. This is why I need like a big company behind me to help me with this type of shit. He, she, born whatever, should not be boxing with women. That is unfortunate, and that is not something that you can help. And I can see how she's like, I didn't choose this. That is fine. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things about my identity and myself. I didn't choose to be short. And I think with identity and transgender, I know how this is a bad argument, and being short and like being born with XY chromosome in her life is so much harder than me, and being short isn't shit. But it's like one of those things. It's like I don't think I have little man syndrome. I had to not care about being short anymore. I used to care about being short. You have to get over it. I'm not gonna dunk unless I do like hella leg workouts. You probably won't be an Olympian because you just happen to be born. Start a show. Talk about how your idea. She should not be boxing. I want that to be clear. But she is not a transgender. Let me keep reading the comments before I moved on, because this is about you guys. This is about the people watching. Is the feminist now they regret? It's contradicting as fuck. Rel, you gotta give me some context because I don't want to ignore you. I'm gonna read this out loud to you. LMAO, it's the feminist. Now they regret. It's contradicting as fuck. It was not born a woman. Let's be for real. Okay. Well, I'll keep reading. This is good work, Garrett. Never heard of this weird shit. Never heard of this shit either. She shouldn't be able to compete. I agree. He or whatever it. You know what I'm fucking at. Look at that muscle structure. Yes. The good stuff. Here we go. I didn't choose to be short. What are we talking about, Garrett? I was just making the point. Sometimes I was just trying to make the point of like, you can't choose what you're born as, but that doesn't give you a right to do, I won't say right or wrong, but that doesn't give you a right to like be questionable, I can't just be around having short man syndrome and being angry at everyone time. No, you're right, Terrence. This is a bad argument. I'm not going to go down this line. And Rel, this is where I'll start off with this before we start. If you guys, and I'm not going to be a dickhead about this, but I'm not going to be on stream for 2 hours. If you guys ask stupid question, let me not say stupid because I'm trying to be in my journalistic mindset. If you ask questions that are built in the form of statements just trying to insult me, I'm going to laugh and not answer. If you ask questions that I know as my friends, you know the answer to, and you're just, I don't even know why you guys do that shit, I'm not going to answer. If you ask me questions that I don't know the answer to, that are hard, but they are fair, I'm going to answer. And I'm going to say what I think, and I'm going to say if I don't know, and I'm going to look it up right here on this computer live. If you ask me, if you make fun of me, that's all in good faith. That's normal. That's what I come on here. But if you ask a question and you like are expecting me to answer it and it doesn't make sense, or it's weird, or you're just like doing some type of confirmation weird bias or something, I'm not going to do it. Been waiting on the answers for days, not going to lie. But I love you guys. If you think I really memorized all your questions, you're going to have to ask them again. If you think I love you guys. I do. If you think I wrote those bitches down, like you like I know you guys were joking, but like, no, I really didn't plan today. Like, if you guys are noticing, this isn't as good as a guaranteed episode as usual. I did not plan. All your questions will have to be asked again. I made two talking points that I think will guide us on the conversation that we want to have. No questions. I did not write any of those questions down. And then let me see. Let me read the chat one more time before I start. You got to read chat live. You started talking politics, so went back to read the comments of the last set. Yeah, that's the talent of streaming, nigga. That has nothing to do with journalism. I'll get that with time, nigga. If I read the chat while I'm doing this, I'll lose my train of thought. I'll learn on that. You know what my questions are? Been waiting on answers for days. You had 13 people, now it's 4. Stay on topic, read live chats. I'm not even going to argue. It's good advice. It's good advice. Okay. Stay on topic. All right. I said on stream about a week and a half ago that with Kamala Harris, there is going to be a lot of stuff that was going to happen. There was going to be fair criticism of Kamala Harris, and there was going to be unfair. Okay, I'll read the chat at the same time. I'll start doing it because maybe it's me. Good advice, Ro. I appreciate it. Thank you for telling me how I'm doing wrong on my live stream. Thank you. I said that there was going to be fair arguments or fair criticism of Kamala, and there was going to be unfair criticism of Kamala. And there's going to be people doing both. Honestly, I could not have seen it happening. I thought the Trump campaign was going to lean into was going to have the unfair criticisms, but I honestly thought the Trump campaign was going to lean into the fair criticism of Kamala because there's so many. And with the Trump campaign in the last week and a half, since Kamala has been named pretty much Democrat, it's not official, but she is weigh on all the unfair criticisms. And what I've seen, from my humble opinion, is it's actually hurt the Trump campaign, which had a lot of momentum, a lot of people for it. And like I said, with anything, this isn't about getting the people who already love you to keep loving you. It's about getting people in the middle. I think Trump and JD Vance had a good chance of doing that. And I think that chance would still be better. It's still really high that they win. It's going to be close. But I think that chance would be better if they chose to focus on the fair criticisms of Kamala. So what I'm going to get into is just with campaigning. The first topic I'm going to get into is with campaigning and policy. I'm going to get into policy versus identity bullshit in campaigning today and the effect of it on the average voter and hypocrisy. So this is what I mean by this. I feel like Mitt Romney, Obama, and I haven't gone back and researched those days, and I will eventually because as a political analyst, I have to. I think when you saw Mitt Romney, George Bush and whoever he was going against, definitely Obama and Mitt Romney and John McCain, it was policy. What can I do for the American people that is going to make your lives better? And how do I know that he's going to do it for you? And not only am I saying this to you, I'm laying out the facts to you of how I'm going to do it. That's why politics, in my opinion, should be boring to a certain extent. You should be able to just look at it, watch it, get what you want, and it's going to inflame people in like the corners of like your weird house, wherever, whether you're left or right. But like, it should be boring. Watching the debates shouldn't be entertaining. Now campaigning, and this is on both sides. Now campaigning is about what can you make stick, what can you insult them with, and how can you make the average person hate this candidate so that I can vote for this one. I can't read chat at the same time. The way my mind works, that's hard for me to do. But that's what it's about right now. the main things that they're saying about Kamala, and I'll jump right into them. Kamala playing black in her identity, and she had the Meg the Stallion on and Quavo and everything. Kamala switching the way that she talks. What else has been the unfair criticism points that I've seen? Those are the main ones. DEI hire. So those are the criticism of Kamala Harris, right? And I'm looking at the chat too. I'm just gonna dive right into it. Kamala Harris is mixed race. I'm gonna put myself in the perspective of if I am getting money. Duh, we're still die partners. Stop asking stupid shit. Duh, we win every time. Why would we not be? Golly. All right. Where was I? Yeah, Kamala Harris. They're saying that she's Indian. Okay. I am black. 100%. All of my grandparents are black. Both of my parents are black. All of my siblings are black. I do not know what it feels like to be decriminalizing the southern border. But see, okay, and we're getting to this. That is a fair argument. And I guess this stream, you know what, I'm not even going to talk for 5 minutes about this. For 45 minutes about this, because I want to move on with my day. Let's get to the point. Gavin, decriminalizing the southern border. That, she was the border czar. And they don't want her to be, and they're taking that away from her. And on CNN for a week, she said I wasn't the border czar. You can go look up articles in 2020 where they called her the border czar, where she did it, where you are leading the border. It is your job to go do that. And she did not run from it then. She's running from it now because she did do a questionable job. That is such a fair argument. And you know what I've been seeing from the Trump campaign? Which you just said, Terrence. She's not black. She's a DEI high. They're sitting there. When you have, it just doesn't make sense from a strategical standpoint, thinking like, this is how I think about this. This is, at least for me, one of the best ways to put myself like on the, like in this situation. If I was getting paid money to tell Trump what to do, you're banking on people, the people who don't know who they're voting for. Those are the people who you want to talk to, and you got to think of what's going to be best for them. And you think what's best for them, for the average person, is making fun of her identity that she's not. But, and I'll get into that and why in my opinion, I just think that's fucking retarded. Just to be honest, I'll get into the whole identity thing, but it's an unfair argument. I think it is. I was going to start with the unfair arguments, but I do think it makes more sense to start with the fair ones. Why would you? Because all that's going to do is get the people who already like Trump excited. Yeah, because they're dog whistles. It's like, I'm not even going to say any names. It's if me calling a person mixed with black and white, if it's 50-50 and trying to take away your blackness or trying to say you're more white, like they're dog whistles, and 90% of people aren't going to hear them. But when you're someone in the middle, when you're a woman, when you're a man, like if I'm trying to think like as a political, if I'm getting paid by Donald Trump and I'm in the middle, why would people not vote for Kamala legitimately because she's saying she's black when she's not black, when she has the border czar that's questionable, when her time as district attorney can be questioned, when the fact that she was probably the most quietest vice president I've ever seen, and it is the job of the vice president to be quiet, and she made looking quiet like a fucking, she's an Olympic gold medalist. Like, in my opinion, if Trump should literally pay me, I would get him so right, because why are you doing this? You're being, I don't even want to say racist because I don't want to get into all that, but you're just doing you're just doing shit that's going to make the people who already like you go on Twitter and go in group chats and go places and just like be loud and say, yeah, she's not black. But like the idea is to get people who are in the middle in the voting ballot to be like, I don't know if I like Trump, but I definitely don't like Kamala because of these fair reasons that you're pointing out to me, and you're going to Kamala or I'm going to Trump. In this political election with a candidate, and I'll get into, I'm bashing Kamala because I want you guys to, because the good for Kamala is going to come. It just is. And I was going to start with that, but this is the way I'm going, so now we're just going to do it. But like, I don't want people to be seeing this and say, I've never washed my greens in the bathtub. But this is, again, I've never washed my greens in the bath. Like, this is like, that is very funny. And if she washes her greens in the back, two things can be true. She is insane. I know she can't cook. we should be saying that. Is it not weird to you guys that that's his like political strategy? And not only that, if Kamala was like Obama, I think it was senator of Chicago for like 5 years. He was like, there's videos of like Barack with like little black kid. Like, bro, Barack was like a politician. She was like a district attorney. Being a district attorney, intelligent, smart, educated, but that's not being a politician. That doesn't mean you know what's best for the people. Like the whole thing where Obama was like not American and he's born in Hawaii and all that, like that's good slime politics. I don't like it because it's bullshit. But again, if I'm getting paid, you got this nigga. This nigga gets on stage, stands straight up, never minces a word, says everything perfectly. We can't find shit about this nigga. Let's say he's not from America, because what else do we got? She literally said she's black. We're in a bit if it's earned, it's disrespectful. I will address that. I will address that. I promise. He's talking about, I've never washed my greens. She's literally, I will get to that. I will get, because I guess I could get to it right now, but so I'll end up at the point I'm on right now. Donald Trump is obviously, no disrespect, and this is part of the reason you like him. I enjoy watching him, but think he is terrifying as a political person. But he's a showman. He's funny as fuck. He gets your attention. He makes you feel something, which is impressive. Whether it's anger, happiness, something, you look at Trump for 10 minutes and you're going to feel something. You're not going to be bored. That's one of the things I feel like is like a good thing about, like, if you're around Garrett, love it or hate it, you're going to feel something, because it's just the air to me. Not even try. That's how Trump is. So he's never going to take the high road. He's never not going to be immature, and he's never not going to take a chance to do a joke, but that's Trump. And he won doing that, and he can win doing that again. But we have a candidate that is literally, there's like 5 things that are all legitimate that if you guys ask me at the top of my head, I would have to look them up, and I would have to sit here to you guys and tell you how they make me nervous, and I don't know what Kamala is going to do. And when I watch CNN, when I watch News Nation, when I watch Fox, when I've listened to JD Vance and Trump on the campaign trail for the last like 7 days, 10 days, they will talk about it for 3 seconds. The borders are conversation, and then they just go, she's not black. She had Meg Thee Stallion at a campaign rally. Do you want to win? I would say no. You just want to insult and throw dog whistles and make the people who already like you go in and vote and continue to liking for you. Okay. She's literally says she's black and bitter for it's disrespectful. Okay. I want to preempt the whole, now we're going to get into the unfair criticisms of Kamala, because I feel like I just did 47 minutes. I don't want to stream for that much longer. Haven't had coffee today. Yeah, I was super earlier though. Okay. I'm sorry, and you guys are on stream. I know, like, I don't be watching streams. He said I could get some. All right, guys. I got stuff calling my name. I'm not gonna leave them. I feel like I've accurately described why, or the fair criticism of Kamala, and why I feel like, in my opinion, they're not being put on if you're a Republican, and why for the Democratic, from my side, to see where, like, I'm not a Democrat. Okay, good question. I genuinely do not know what it is like to be mixed race, but I've talked to a lot of mixed race people, mixed with different things. I've talked to them in groups. I've talked to them one-on-one. Like, even you guys in this, even my friends in here, you really haven't said why you should. I'm going to answer that. I'm not going to go with my first reaction to that question. I'm going to answer that. But I'm going to answer Terrence first. How's that an unfair criticism? And I don't want to give a long lead up. If you say that, Garrett, you don't have any idea what it's like to be mixed, so you can't say this, so just shut the fuck up, I can rock with that a little bit. But I'm going to just say I've talked to a lot of mixed people, mixed with different things. I've heard mixed people agree on certain things. I've heard them disagree on certain things. And in my head, I consider myself an analysis and able to look through things and make an opinion. I feel like I have an idea of the mixed identity, not for every culture, but just that idea of what that feeling could be. And I think the part of that is the most frustrating, or not the most, but something that frustrates makes people a lot is putting you in a box of you're just black, or you're mixed with Mexican and fucking Brazilian. I'm just Mexican. I can only eat Mexican food, this, and this. I'm just Brazilian. I'm just this and this. Tell me if I'm wrong, mixed people in this chat. Are you not both identities in both cultures? And do you not have the opportunity and the right to be both of those identities fully at any time? But if you're, when like the thing of her saying, like the videos where she was like, she was always Indian, and they said she was the first Indian senator. She was. But then you turn around and you say she's the first black woman vice president. How? She is. Both things are true. Then another thing again, I've been around mixed people, and I'm just being honest. No, I'm not talking any shit. This is a mixed conversation. It's something that's always kind of been like out there for me, so I don't know how to speak on it perfectly, but I've called mixed people one race before multiple times. People in this chat and people not in this chat, and they've got frustrated. I've called mixed people one race before, and they said, yeah. And then I called them the other race to make fun of them, and they were like, don't do that. Like, you got me fucked up. I say this to say the mixed identity is very nuanced, very, very lived in. It's a very lived in experience. And I can see Kamala, her mom, who is Indian, and her dad is a Jamaican, 50% Jamaican, and whatever he is in that. And with the one parent that's half black, we'll get into that too. I'll get into, because that's like a historical thing that like is this is what America made laws. Again, getting into that thing where like people hate the truth, but we're getting into that too. But seeing you as a little kid dressed up in Indian garment and having a mom that's clearly full Indian does not also mean when you grow up and decide to go to an HBCU and decide to be in a historically black HBCU, historically black college university, and decide to be in a, not only that, but you go into one of the Divine Nine, a sorority that, I mean, now it's kind of washed out and just like bullshit, like everything. But like the Divine Nine were started because black people weren't able to have fraternities and sororities. It was made for them to have that experience. It was made to be a celebration of black people in college, like a literal celebration of the black experience in college and being able to have a fraternity and sorority and that togetherness. And even when you have them at PWIs, predominantly white institutions, it's an argument that they're even more important because when you go around everyone's white and you don't see any white people that have that community. Don't even want to get into that. But my point with that is saying like both can be true. You can be the first Indian senator ever when you became the senator of California and also be the same first black woman president. And I think a lot of people understand that, but it's a very good dog whistle because I have to talk for at least 15 minutes and even now to even unravel this in a way that, in my opinion, is fair and just. It's a good dog whistle, but it's a weak one because even though it takes 15 minutes to unravel, it only takes 15 minutes to unravel. You know what I'm saying? Like most people aren't going to take 15 minutes and most people don't care. And it's a dog whistle. So when you hear it, it works. But I just feel like if you take like 15 minutes of like thought, it doesn't sound that crazy. Now it's just jump into, I'm not hiding for anything, her having the black accent and using that because like I'm one of those people, like I used to get all the time, you talk white, and I fucking hate it. I'm going to talk the way I talk no matter what, and you're going to like it regardless. That's just the way I talk. That's the way, I can't even say the way I was raised. I mean, it's the way that I talk and say words. So I'm going to always talk. You hear Garrett's speech, I mean, I don't even know if I have I don't even know, I just talk like Garrett. You ever haven't said, Freedom of America, that's valid. The thing is, most people want you to be more than the other when we're both. Thank you. And as me being, you can call me a hypocrite because I know I do that to you guys. And that's my own Garrett. Oh, yeah. Hold on, guys. Hold on. 2 seconds. If you guys all leave, I'm taking the stream off because I kind of want to get off anyways. But 2 seconds. I'll be right back on. Actually, it's only my boys in here. I'm not even going to do that. You're almost done. I don't know. I'm doing a journalistic good to society. Can you put it in? You got a call. Pardon me, thought you guys were gonna leave. The main policies, I guess I'll talk about that too. But that's the point I wanted to get to. And I think even when you guys do it, you're just doing it in the group chat to fuck with me. But what are the policies? Race aside, what are the policies of Kamala's do you like? So what are the main policies and laws that you would like most? And most importantly, why would she be a great leader? Those are two good questions. And I will answer. I mean, it's going to take long to answer those. I'm going to answer them because if I don't, it will look weird. But that's just the point that I wanted you guys to get to pressing me to ask this. Stop like saying she's not black or like this the black accent thing. Like, bro, like that's shitty politics, bro. Like shitty politics is a part of politics, bro. Like that's weird. That's fucking weird. She should not do that. But I guarantee you, the same way those dog whistles work on, almost made a statement about you guys that could not be true. Same way those dog whistles work on a lot of people, there are niggas that listen to that. It's probably black women, to be honest with you. Maybe not even niggas. Another conversation I don't want to get into. It's probably mostly black women that saw that and was like, yeah, we fuck with Kamala. Probably Gen Z from the ages of 18 to like 26. What's up? Oh, my bad. I'm streaming right now, but Grant's home right now. You just hit him up. All right. Nigga, stream come first, pussy. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. The black accent thing. And I want to get to all the things you guys were saying. And not like hide from black accent thing. That's crazy. Nothing to do to get around that, but just say, shit. The guy you going for does crazy shit, and you guys blatantly ignore it. And I can respect it because as his far right leaning bullshit, you guys say, but you know what? All this other stuff though, we rock with him. So yeah, he'll say some crazy shit that's just obviously not true, but we gonna rock with him because it's slime politics. Why can't we do it? And that's another conversation that I wanted to get into. How is why I think a lot of people are mad, and I will get out to you guys. I can't tell if you guys are mad. You shouldn't ever be mad about politics like this, so I hope you're not. How do I think she would do it for? Okay, foreign policies. Okay, I'm done talking. I'll just get off now it's question time. Just ask your questions. I'll get off. I feel like if you guys, whatever I've said by now, you guys get the point. When I'm not reading the chat, if you don't like it or not, it's the truth in my opinion. Objectively. How do you think, and let me go back to Terrell, because I'm not ignoring you. I promise I'm not. And you guys are asking the same question. Race aside, what policies of Kamala's do you like? Honestly, there's so much in the dark about Kamala. None. That's what I would honestly say. And that's disgusting. I don't like saying that, knowing that I'm going to vote for her. That I really don't. Like, as someone that like takes voting kind of seriously, and I don't like the fact that I'm voting for someone whose policies have so much questions, but I can say there's not policy about her that I dislike, because all the policy that you'd be attaching to her would be from 10 years ago, and she's flip-flopped on like things like not foreign affairs, but like the border. She has flip-flopped, so it's hard to know where she is. And that's another like thing with Kamala that I think is a fair argument, is like it's so hard to know how she feels. She hasn't came out and done an interview, but the question that you guys want to get from me is like, she doesn't have any policies, and you just said on camera you can't think of policy that you like from her. Why are you voting for her? And this is where I said this. We were on the FaceTime, and I said this, and this is like something that like my identity as a black, and this is something I truly believe. this is an opinion, so I guess I can't. I mean, I could give facts, but they would just be numbers, and you guys could give numbers to back it up. So this is where we can just fundamentally disagree, and I'm okay with that, and I know you guys are okay with that too, because we do it all the time. But as a black man, I fundamentally care about the miseducation of my people's children, the killing of my people, which I fear to be in unfair ways, in the economic structures that are purposely put in place to make it harder for my people to just make it. And it's like that for everyone, but this is an opinion. There are structures in America that make it harder for black people to live normal lives, and these are structures that were put on purposely. And I think if it was any other candidate, any other Republican running against Donald Trump, and it was Kamala, I would be on your guys' side 1,000%, and I would probably vote for the Republican. But because Trump is so bold, and that's the thing that you can like or love about Trump, because Trump is so bold about what he says, and sometimes he catches himself slipping and has to recant, but because he's so bold and feels like he can say whatever and win, and he has, someone like that, I cannot vote for to be to run the free world and the president of the United States, because I feel like socially, economically, and safety and educational wise, my people will be the worst for it. And regardless of how I'm gonna be, because I'm gonna be fine regardless. I'm gonna always have money, even if I don't have this dream. I'm gonna have a job. I have a college degree in journalism. I'm smart as hell. I'm good looking. And I have my head on straight. And I like working hard. I'm going to be fine no matter what. So if I was going to vote for the better of the economy, I can see being a black person and voting for Donald Trump. I'll never be one of those people that say, oh, if you vote for Donald Trump and you're black, you're weird, because I just don't like comments like that. And I think that's unfair. And I think the black vote just sticking to Democrats is very stupid, very dangerous, and the Democrats take advantage of us. But Donald Trump, to me, is a special occasion. If it was anybody else, Kamala would be dog water. She would not win. But the fact that you have Trump, who says the thing he says, and for some reason his campaign is going on not real arguments, there's a chance he could lose. It's up in the air. But I think there's a lot of black people, and I would say black men, who for that reason, they are on the edge of who they want to vote for, because they know of Donald Trump, they're voting for someone who does not care about their best interest and are probably going to do things to hurt your best interest. But economically, for foreign affairs, for how we look to the rest of the world, for fixing up the border, tax cuts and everything, that's going to always be Republican. So I'm not going to get into that, but I guess for the economy, I guess for inflation and stuff, that could be like a reason where you could trust more in a Republican. For those things, like business and stuff, I can see how you vote Republican. And I won't look at a black man weird for doing that. But me, the way I was raised, the way that I feel like I have a responsibility to, wherever I'm able to, help my community. And because I feel like I'm so blessed, I have millions of ways to help my community, and voting for somebody that just says that they're going to do police immunity, that throws diversity, equity, and inclusion around as like a buzzword to make people mad, but really it's just telling the true history of America, or just having education where little kids can't learn the true history, and you're saying it's making white kids feel bad, but then there's black kids that don't know their history, and then that grows up and then affects the way they interact with different races and affects the way they see themselves for the rest of their lives. That stuff is kind of important to me. And then the whole thing with Trump, like every day he'll say something crazy and go back on it. Just a week ago, he said to all those Christians, people, like, vote for me one time and you guys will never have to vote again. And then a week later, he said, oh, you'll never have to vote again because we'll always win. Like, if you're a Trump fan and you hear him say the crazy shit he says, and then you hear him 2 days later go back and fix it, and you believe the fix it, go ahead. I would say objectively knowing Trump, it's a blessing that he's so honest. I always say, I've said this, if you know Garrett, you've heard me say this, I like my racist to be, and tell me you're a racist. Wear the Confederate flag on your hat. Have it hanging up in your dorm room when I walk in. Let me go into the frat house and see like the "Don't tread on me" flag. So I know. I don't like my racist to be quiet. Except maybe when you're president. You probably shouldn't just be outwardly just I won't say racist, but just outwardly fried the way that he is. And I think with Trump, we all know Trump. You should probably believe the stuff he says when he starts rambling and like going on a line. Not like 2 days later after the line when people have obviously talked to him and he stands on a podium and like takes it back. Like that's the most obvious like political like bullshit, just like Kamala using a black voice. Like the same way that I can't say that that's not, like if I tried to say that's Kamala's real voice, I'd just be lying. You saying that like when Trump says something crazy and then 3 days later spins it back, he's telling the truth, you're just lying. Because it's clearly not just Mexicans crossing. People from all around the world are flying into Central American countries and making their hike onto America. Still mass incarcerated black men, Garrett. She mass incarcerated black men. I'm not going to look it up. What is mass incarceration? She was a district attorney for 10 years, and she prosecuted, which is not putting in jail. She prosecuted, I think, 2,000. I won't even say, because it's not, because even the numbers of all people, I don't know how many black, she prosecuted like 2,000 people, and I think less than 700. I don't know if those numbers are right, but I'm confident saying them, because if you look it up for real, you'll see. She incarcerated, like put into jail, less than 700 as 10 years as the San Francisco district attorney. And then as her time as the state attorney of California, I won't speak on that because I didn't look it up, because most of the shit that people talk about are her time as district attorney in San Francisco. That's most of like when you see the Twitter memes and everything, that's what it is. That's just another, it worked in 2020. It worked for me. But that's like something that I mean, if you guys want me to Google it, I will. But like, if you get on your phones right now and Google it, you'll just find that that's just like an easy lie. What policies are put in place that makes you feel, this way? I would say the first one being education, what they're doing right now, how they're taking things out of textbooks, how they're changing the way that American history is taught. And there's a real fear about teaching about slavery in America. And there's this real thing that is in America. And this is about education. And I think education is important because public schooling basically affects all of your life. The reason that we're so used to going to our jobs every day and being on that thing, and people are able to live their whole lives like that as Americans, is because we started our lives being in a class. Like school, I don't think people realize how much school plays a role in Americans being Americans. Not even talking about race and everything, just the fact that we know how to sit down, and it's normal for us to be in a building for 8 to 7 hours and get a reward for that, school good grades now. And if you don't do it, so education to me is very important. And I think even when I was a kid, it was just how it was to not teach Black history, but there wasn't like a strong thing against it. And again, I had to do more. I've done a lot of history about like before I was born, but like interestingly enough, I haven't done a lot of history from when I was a kid and too young to understand anything. But to me, I always thought as you just weren't teaching it, but it wasn't like a thing against it. And now there's like a real push, like an angry push against teaching about slavery and teaching about Black history in schools. And that confuses me, and I can't understand it for the life of me. But I know that Donald Trump will push that, and I know for the predominantly white children that are there, that education will fit for them. And they will be wrong about how they see the world and the history of the world, but it won't matter because that's the way the world is. And then the little Black kids, I don't know how they feel. I have an idea about it, but I won't get into that. But I just know it'll be dangerous, and I know that those 5-year-olds will grow up to be 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds, and then they'll be judged for their decisions and how they are. And they had no teaching about their history, about where they came from. They had nobody to look up to be excited about. To me, that matters. To some, it doesn't. He did give the most money to HBCUs in a long time. Answer my question. Gavin, was that the question that you asked? If it was another one, I'm sorry. He did give the most money to HBCUs in a long time. Trump's a businessman and a smart businessman. I hate this video even mentioning it, but it's a true video. But something about this video just pisses me off. Like if I was like a Trump fan, I feel like I could easily say this video is bullshit, but I'm gonna bring it up. There's a video of Trump a long time ago, like in the 90s, saying if he was gonna be a politician, he would be Republican. And I won't get into what he said about that because he said it, and I think I probably will exaggerate it, but he said that. Like Trump is a businessman, a smart businessman. He is intelligent. He's good with money. You think he's going to let like the fact that he don't necessarily want black people. I don't think Trump hates black people, but like I don't think he want them working with him. I don't think like Trump's just worried about making rich people, like billionaires, rich. And people say that about Republicans all the time, and I think that's kind of out there. Trump is the definition of that. So to answer your question directly, how do I feel about him donating to HBCUs? Probably got money off of his taxes. I would question where the HBCUs he was donated to, if there were black men or black women there that he had connections with for reasons that are business wise. And the money went to the HBCUs and it helped the HBCUs, and we would take the money. Well, not we, I didn't go to HBCU. The HBCUs would take the money again, but I think using Trump donating money, Trump donated to Kamala Harris. Look that up as well. But do I think that's like liberals or I keep saying liberals, Democrats using that Donald Trump voted for Kamala like to bash Donald Trump is, again, to me, like, it's business. If you're a businessman, you're a billionaire, you're going to donate to everyone. Why would you let your hate get in the way of your business and your money? If he was that type, he's not that type of person. If he was that type of person, he would have never been president of the United States, because that type of person can't let their emotions get out of the way of what's better for them. And I don't like people. Well, I do like people like that because they're fun to mess with. But I respect people who are the other way, and I do think Trump is that. So that's why I think he did the HBCU thing. Why would she be a great leader? Well, I'll get to that because I think that's an easy question to answer. Like leader of the country, but leader, like, I mean, she's obviously, again, there's some places you just don't get in life without having certain skills. I don't think you get there without being able to lead people. And I'll get in that. I think that was blown out of proportion. If he wins, you literally can't vote for him again. But I think that was blown out of proportion. We can do this all day. He said it. Like, what is that? I guess my question would be from that to you, because I know that I don't think you're being unfair. What do you think he meant by that? Do you think when he says, vote for me just now, you won't ever have to vote for me again? Because you just said right there, you literally can't vote for him again. So the argument that I was seeing from other sides is that, well, he's just saying if you vote for me. And I heard somebody else saying, I don't think this is true. Like, if you don't win back to back, you can go again. I never looked that up because I just thought it wasn't true. And I just don't look up things that I just don't think are true. That could be arrogance in me. But I don't think he can run again, like you kind of mentioned, Camby. So why would he say that? And this is kind of the thing, again, that questions me. Like, I don't, like, today and like in my brain, like, not a lot of stuff like makes me mad with people because I really just don't care. But something that, like, if you want to frustrate Garrett, is like having an argument that you know you're being, I guess, unfair or untruthful, and taking the untruthful point to help your argument. Like, unfair, I guess it's the definition of an unfair argument. For some, it's probably like I do have a journalist, I feel like soul, that like really frustrates me. Like, if I know 2 + 2 is 4, and you're telling me it's 5 because 4 people in the room think it's 5, and you want to be with those people, I'm gonna deeply dislike you as a person. Personally, if you don't know, if you think 2 + 2 actually is 5, I will never be mad. It will frustrate me kind of, because like, how do you not know? But I'll never be mad because that's just a lack of knowledge, which I will never fundamentally make fun of somebody more. You should never make fun of a lack of knowledge. But Camby, I feel like you don't have unfair arguments, but like, it kind of frustrates me when you guys say like, I think that was blown out of proportion. Because I think that's just, and I'm doing it with Kamala. I just did it for like an hour. Don't get me wrong. But like, it's just like, do you not see the bias of the other side? Like, he said it. Like, what am I supposed to, what is it as me as a journalist? Like, this is like a journalistic thing. If someone says to a group of Christians that, how do I do it objectively? And that's a real question. Like, how do I not take it out of proportion in your way? How would that be seen in a way that's in the context of what he's mean? Because that is something the media always does. They take something and run with it for a fact. They did that with to an extent, the Trump with the HBCU thing. Like, they took something and ran with it and all the nuances of it. I was going to talk about that, but I'm not. I'll probably do like a video because I do want to make some clips for that. But like, people will run with it. So I can get you saying it was blown out of proportion, but like, with some of the stuff Trump says, when you say it was blown out of proportion, he says stuff very clearly. Like, Trump, like, that's another thing about Trump, like it or respect it, if you listen to him closely. Like I said this, for the last 2 weeks, I've been keeping up with Trump and JD Vance and now Kamala on that campaign trail. I have. I watch the debates. I listen to what he says. I know what he's doing. That's why I feel so confidently talking about how I could help his campaign. Why? He will tell you what he's thinking I do the same thing. Like I literally, he will tell you what he's thinking on accident and then go back. And you can't do that as president. You have to be able to not say what you're thinking repeatedly. Like that's like I think a thing. And I think the reason that people attach to Trump is because he told the truth and we all felt like we were being lied to for years, and that's how we got into him. Another conversation for another day. But the thing that got him here is hurting him. I won't say it will make him lose, because I think if there is a shift to Kama's policies, which I think there will have to be at some point, because there's people smarter than me who have to be saying this to Trump. So I think that will happen. But him just saying whatever he wants and what he thinks is right in his old white man billionaire head, a lot of people agree with it, but you just can't say that, dude. Like, do it after you're the president. That's literally, okay. I think that was blown out of, I hear a lot of black people not having as many opportunity, even though the immigrants are taking those people. It's another dog whistle, and it's going to make me talk for 10 minutes to unravel it. I'll talk to you about that over the phone. I'm not doing that on stream. That's just another, I don't want to be here for another 20. That's a dog whistle. That's not a dog whistle, actually. Let me be very precise and clear with my words. That is not a dog whistle. That is a, it's like a straw man's argument. One of those fucking, it's because I hear a lot of black people not having as many opportunity, an opportunity conversation that you're addressing because of what I was saying with opportunity, which is true, and that is the truth. That's a conversation. Even though the immigrants are you're connecting opportunity with like immigrants, taking those opportunities for people, you're mixing multiple things, and I'd have to separate them and then try to put in my head why you put them together and why I don't feel like you should put them together. And I will do that off stream, but I'm not going to do that on stream. That's true. School is very important, but Biden ain't doing shit about what makes you think Kamala will. That's where it also gets down into just like being able to actually enforce policy and like who runs the House and the Senate, because the executive branch, the president, enforces the law, but the House and Senate make the laws, and then the Supreme Court basically like, what does the Supreme Court do? Interpret it? Is that the word? They basically say what the law means. I think the Republicans now with the Supreme Court stacked, they run the House. Democrats run the Senate. When you look at all that together and the push for education that Trump is trying to do, I think what he wants to do with education could actually happen, because Trump being smart, I will never take his smartness away from him. He stacked the Supreme Court. As far as the House, Republicans run the House, Democrats run the Senate. It would be easy for him to take those things into account. The last thing, and this is why so many Democrats wanted Joe Biden out, the last thing that Democrats have against a stacked House and a stacked Supreme Court is the president. And hopefully continuously the Senate, but I wouldn't be, from what I've looked into, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost the Senate. I'm kind of going on a tangent. I think Joe Biden wouldn't put those laws into place and force them. I don't think he's going to make the education better, because no one does that for black people. That's why black people, like, we need to, if you want to have a real conversation of black to black vote, like when Dr. Umar says a lot of crazy things, but like when he says we need to come together for the black vote and have like a real conversation, that is true. And we need to put pressure on our politicians. That is true. If you guys continue to watch if you continue to watch Guaranteed News, I'm not sure next week, but it will be better. But if you continue to watch Guaranteed News, I will push Kamala. I will ask the hard questions, and I will ask the normal questions that like people should be asking. But I think that the Republicans and Donald Trump will make education worse. And he has like all that stuff about like news and everything else. Do a Google search, Supreme Court, Senate. You're president, you say, I want this to happen, it goes down to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court argues over it, and at the end of the day, it goes down to who runs it. Then it goes to Senate. And then if it goes back to the Supreme Court again. But think about that. If it's all for Trump and he's president, there was like a law, like I read this months ago. This happened, though. I'll find the article and send it to you guys, because I just don't like saying stuff out loud and not having it pulled up. But there's like a law in Pennsylvania, and I think you should do this. I'm Christian, and I have a very strong relationship with God. But there's like a law in Pennsylvania, like where you have to like say like the 7 deadly sins or something. Like if you're not religious, is just kind of like questionable in a public schooling. That's Trump. doing that. Like, not Trump himself, but the Supreme Court that he put in. And people don't realize that, like, Trump put himself up. Trump is very smart. He put himself for this moment, you know. He didn't know he was going to lose, but he lost. But you have the Supreme Court, you have the House, and, you know, in 4 years we're going to be here. Very smart. So a lot of the things you see Republicans doing, I say it all the time, it's not the Republican Party anymore, it's the Trump Party. And if you think the things that Republicans have been doing for the last 4 years are outside of Trump because Trump wasn't in the party, like he wasn't technically in the, come on now. So those are, I can't factually say that, but like that law, like a pencil, like that's a real law that was put into place where like kids like now, like in, I think it's Pennsylvania, one of those P states, they had to like read the 7 deadly sins. That has nothing to do with race and anything else, but it's just like if you're a Muslim, I won't even say Muslim because that's black people. If you're agnostic, a nice blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white agnostic kid has to read the 7 deadly sins, and now he's coming home and he's like, I didn't learn about math and how to read a book and summarize it, but I can tell you the 7 deadly sins of religion I've never heard you guys talk about. Can you guys tell me about it more? And then as a parent, I'm like, huh? That's like that situation where it's like, there's a lot with that. Garrett, be honest, you're jumping around. Because I hear a lot of black people not having as many, so I haven't heard why she would be a great leader. That's facts. How she'd be a great leader, and why would she be a great leader for America, and what policies and laws would be changed if she's in office? Okay. Because I haven't jumped around questions. I just don't want to like, and you said that's a fact, because I hear about a lot of black people not having as many opportunity, even though immigrants are taking those opportunities from black people. That's a shame in of itself, bro. Like, there's just so, Tara, I love you, like, but you have a very talented way of like asking questions that like in like a, I don't know how to say it. Because I'm like being professional Garrett right now. I'm not trying to be the Garrett that you guys are used to. And why would she be a great leader? I can answer that easily, bro. Bro, your district attorney, California attorney, like you can only get there for sucking so much. Like if you think she got there for like sucking dick and stuff and having a good pussy, you're only gonna get there, especially as a black woman. Like I don't even mean to, but like, put it like this: say she is a DEI hire, and she's been a DEI hire her whole life. As a DEI hire, if you do a bad job, would it not be easy as fuck to kick you out? Because you're DEI, and we only got you here for you're black. So you're black, you're not even doing your job right. Get the fuck out, and let's bring somebody else in. I think the fact that she rose through the ranks shows that she has an intelligence about her. It shows that she has an ability as a district attorney to debate and talk to people live, which is a skill, which is she did at the highest level as a district attorney, as a senator. Like, she has leadership qualities. What are leadership qualities to me? Being able to make people believe what you say, being able to convince people otherwise of what they originally thought, and to be able to make people who think different of you to make them feel lesser than, to make them question themselves, so that the people that you're leading are better. A leader needs to be strong, direct, well-spoken, know how to play both sides. It takes a lot to be a leader. A leader of America is different. Leader of America, I think she would be a good leader of America, but that's a better question in my head. But good leader, you don't get to that. White, black, man, woman. I don't even think as a white man, like if your daddy was the thing of if you become the district attorney of an entire city for 10 years and then get promoted to the attorney general. I couldn't think of the word for the last hour and 30. Attorney general, and anybody's calling you anything, I would think it's really easy to laugh at them. It's kind of like, it's just like my journalistic like integrity and anything. Like if you bring that up, like that'll be something that you can do a good way. That's a good way to make me frustrated, but a good way to make me laugh at you, because I know I'm journalistically I know I have journalistic integrity, and I know what journalism is. And I haven't even been in this for 4 years, but I've worked in the industry. I know what I don't like about being like I'm just saying all this to say, like, you don't get there with just being a dick sucking, lying whore, which is what like the thing of Kamala is. And she could be that. Yeah, those two things could be true, but that didn't get her there. So I think she is a good leader for those reasons. Why would she be you don't like any policies, but you're going to vote for her knowing nothing about this woman or what she believes in? I answered that question. And I want somebody else, Terrence, because you're going to tell the truth. I answer that question about why, even though your question, if I'm asking it, is why, even though her policies are, why I don't agree with her policies, why I would still vote for her. I said if it was anybody else, any other Republican, you guys would love me, because the Garrett you'd be getting, and I've already seen it, it's easier to make money being a Republican. Candace Owens, it's easy being a black Republican to make money, because they want us, because it's like, oh yeah, we need the black vote, so let's bring them over so you're going to get money. I'm not going to do it because I feel like I have journalistic integrity, but if I believed it, I'd be dangerous. I'd be fucking dangerous. If it was any other Republican voting, I would vote for them, because the question policies, those are good questions. But again, I'm not going to go back into it because there's a video now. Scroll back 20 minutes. I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but I said the betterment of my people in my community means more to me than any policy. And if you feel like that's stupid, I don't think it's stupid. But if you think that's wrong, Owen speaks facts, but Owen's also, I would want to have a really interesting conversation about Candace Owens one day, and I cannot wait to meet her, because I feel like I'm a journalist and I will have my day where I like get to where I'm supposed to be, and then I'll have the chance to talk to everybody that I want to talk to. I think Candace Owens isn't a sellout, but I think she does love money. And I'll say that because I like Candace Owens, and I've watched a lot of her stuff, actually. I don't hate Candace Owens. And there's sometimes where I'll laugh when she says certain things where I wonder if you're trying to make money in a world where it's hard to be a media person and hold the middle, or if you really believe everything that you're saying. I think if you guys saw me in like 10 years and we were still friends and you saw me get on camera and say certain things, even if you agreed with him, you guys would be like, what is that check looking like, Garrett? You guys will know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I get that vibe from Candace where it's like, you could watch me and say you could say Garrett's a raging liberal or Garrett's a raging Republican, depending on what topic you watch and what Guaranteed News episodes you watch. I mean, I genuinely am in the middle. But that being said, I think Candace Owens is probably more in the middle about most things and leans more right because the Republicans pay the money to black people to be on their side. That's just a fact. I just don't get how she would make the black community better. She wouldn't make the well, I think she could, but I won't say policies that. Hold on. Got that bitch ass nigga. Bro, and I've been streaming for an hour and 27 minutes, bro. I didn't even want to stream today. But I feel like I had to because I do respect you guys as my friends. And I know you guys have hella questions, so I wanted to answer them. I don't think she would necessarily, I can't point anything that she could make the black community better. And I'm covering my eyes like this because, and I think you guys haven't done, I thought you guys were going to be way more meaner and do like press my feet to the fire and make me feel way more uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie about that. Because I feel bad saying a couple of these things, or just a couple of them. I don't think she's going to make the black community better, which is why I said I would press Kamala, and why as black people, I think black people as a unit need to come together with the black vote and not just vote Democrat, because I do think that is stupid. We're just in a crazy place right now where I do think Trump will make it worse. And as a black man in America who like knows the history of America, if you're making America worse, for me, like, I think as far as racism goes, it's been bad, but like I just deal with a lot of like little racism that like for me, like I can just brush off like a little racist like 16-year-old, or when I was 16 or like 20, like that's not shit to like, because I'm having emotion. But like, you know, like real shit, like making it worse out here, bro, like that's scary. Making it worse today for black people is like scary, objectively. Like, is it not bad enough, you know? Like, and I know like people say like, oh, it's all equal opportunity, and that's another conversation, but I think Trump will make it worse, which terrifies me. Like, I have to laugh saying it because I don't think Kamala's gonna make it better. And if Trump wasn't so he could it's even like a thing like lie better. Like, it's so obvious what he wants to do. Like, if he wasn't like, if he lied better, he would get more black people's vote. Like, again, like I could almost laugh about it who do you believe Trump will make? Why do you believe Trump will make it worse when he has done that for the black community? When he's done for the black community, can someone else who's in here? I know Gavin's probably left because I know Gavin. Can be maybe. I feel like Terrell. Why do you believe Trump will make it worse? Gavin asked me to ask specifically, and I said education. Do I have to give another one? I mean, when I started having the conversation like 20 minutes ago about do you believe when he says something for real or when he backs it up and says it? The same way he said you don't have to vote for me. Like, I didn't want to have this argument over text. If you guys want to start spamming stuff, he did say at a rally that police officers should have full immunity and that we need to back the blues so they have more comfortable to make split decisions, which is true in theory. But don't we do that? Hella police officers already get rid. Like, why would you say that? Hella police officers already get away with killing black people all today. Random white people get away with killing black people because they were scared. Okay, not every day, but at least 2 or 3 times a year. So for you to come out and say you want to give police officers full immunity is weird. And then to backtrack on it, even when they asked about the NABG thing, and he was like, oh, I don't know who to decide. He doesn't even have a plan on how he would do it, but he said it, and that's how he feels because, like I said, love him or hate him, Trump is going to tell you how he feels for a little bit. Then he goes in, somebody talks to him, somebody that gets paid a lot more money to be smarter than all of us, and says you have to go back and say that is not what you meant. And then all of Trump's supporters and fans say that is not what he meant. But if you know, if I just say, even when I say things, you guys know me. When I start talking for a long time, that's part of why I'm funny. I'll say something fried, and even in my face, you can probably think I did not mean to say that. I literally see that in Trump. So when you guys tell me that's not what he meant against the border, and Garrett, you're a fucking idiot, you can't have complete police immunity, I would objectively say to you, the comments are going crazy right now. Yeah, that one guy's got you, huh? I was going to comment back. I can agree with what you're saying about Trump, and I feel the same about Kalama. They both be capped. That's all I want. I love you guys to death. Truly. I literally, not going to say on stream, but I did not want to do this. Because to me, I had my schedule. Didn't have to do this. It didn't do anything for me. I'm going to make the clips out of it, but I don't even know if these clips will be good. Like, this is no, real, help to, guarantee news. The business. I literally did this because I care about being journalistic, and I get your guys' points, and I saw where you guys are being reasonable and unreasonable, and I wanted to address them both as a journalist because I think that's something that I'm going to have to do anyways, and if I can't do it with my friends, who the fuck can I do it to? But I didn't even want to have this, bro. You guys see the bias, bro, on both sides. We are in a shit show, and you guys are going to vote for who is best for you, and I completely understand that, and in my head, I can be wrong, but for each of you guys, I can see why you would make the vote that you would vote and why you're led the way to believe why you are. That's what I call objectiveness in me. And I know you guys have it because you guys would just not fuck with me because of the way I talk if you guys really didn't. But you have to see it on the other side of Trump. And you're just choosing who you think is more impressive and whose lies sound better to your ears. And I don't judge you for that because that's the world we live in. If we had, I'll say this to you guys for a standpoint. If we had a Democratic candidate who was going on policy, who had spent years like a Nick Roberts, I can say his name because everyone knows he is. It's where in 20 years, when you go back and look at Nick Roberts' history, you will see that he was knocking on doors in his community every summer. Hard work, you cannot bullshit, and you cannot take that away from somebody, whether it goes somewhere or not. If Nick Roberts had never became, I can't think of what he is, of the Lawrence District County, he put that work in, and I know he would feel confident about that, but he's seen the benefits of that. And if he goes further to become whatever, he's going to be somebody that's, for better or for worse, that's hard to talk about his care for being a politician because you see the history. He talks about policy. He doesn't bullshit. If we had someone like that on the Democratic side, and you guys were voting for Trump, but we don't have that, so I don't have to be in that world, and I can be thankful. You guys we're choosing between two shit shows, But if we had on either side, that's why I said it, because for me, it's Republican. For you guys, it's probably Democrat. Like the thing of like me voting Republican would look weird to whoever. For you guys, it's probably the other way around. And I would go to say, if there was a Democrat who was about policy, who if you looked at them, you could tell that they were in politics since they were 20 years old. Now they're 45, 50 years old. He had charisma. He was able to be funny and do the media stuff, but he was coming to us not to talk about Donald Trump just spewing lies and bullshit and just saying funny things, but to talk about where his policy is wrong, to talk about where he has done things that have hurt certain communities and how his rhetoric and standing is not good for the American people. I would be very, I hope I get to see a candidate like that. Like, I hope I'm not alive in just like a 30-year period of the world where we get no real politicians anymore. And when I say real politicians, I mean politicians that earned it, that get there from policy, that get there from a love of public service. This is another thing I say. If you guys were like Trump fanatics, I probably would dislike you guys a lot more. Anybody, newsflash, didn't know if you knew this, politicians work for the people, not the other way around. If you are fantasizing over a politician, if you think they're going to change your life and make it completely better, if you think they love you, Democrat or right side, Democrat, Republican. Oh, I don't want to call people stupid. I don't like doing that. I don't like calling people stupid. But you're probably not smart. Like this whole thing with like, it's happening with black people with Kamala Harris. I do not like it. This fantasization of like she's some great person and she's brat. And like all this cool stuff and all the Gen Z, like bro, they work for you. And we are in a political sphere where like people are so confident talking about these people and like loving these people who I guarantee at the end of the day, even the way they like it used to be a thing where politicians were snaky and slimy and they'll tell you something on the campaign trail and then 4 years go by and it doesn't happen, and that's why things get changed. Anybody that knows anything about politics knows that. That's what it used to be. He lied to us. I was going to say he or she, but let's just be real, it's always he. You know, gender norms, you got to keep up with them. But imagine in front of Putin or Kim Jong-un. Can we bring this to a grip? Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, I'm tired. Imagine if Kamala in front of Putin are like, bro, I said it already, bro. Bro. You don't get like, bro, she's a district attorney, bro. Like, go and watch Kamala Harris, JD Vance, vice president debate. Anyone that's been around strong black women before, imagine that's what Biden did. And you got to be honest, how many black people get away with killing other black people? Oh my God, that's so... You guys are going to love Delano. Delano, how long have you been in here? I'm just going to say your name. I know you don't like that, but these are all my friends. Delano, you're in a group with your friends right now. Know that. They all agree with you if you've been reading the chat. I haven't talked to you in a minute. I do have to see how you're doing. Where are you at now? I'm not going to start talking to Delano, but type where you're at right now, because wherever you've been posting your pictures at, it looks cool. I can agree with what you're saying. Let me go back to the comments. And you got to be honest. How many black people get away with killing other black people? I want to address that, but like, you know, in the beginning, I forget what I said. It's just like certain like, black people killing black people is crime. White people killing white people is crime. Mixing up crime statistics from people in the same race and bringing that into an argument of like cops killing black people, it seems unfair to me and it frustrates me. And I could have the argument, but I'm not going to, and I'm not running from it. I promise you I'm not. I could bring you facts and I could bring you my opinion mixed with facts for why I feel like that is not shit. And you got, can we bring this to a group FaceTime? Imagine Kamala in front of Putin or Kim Jong-un. bro, I told you the reason I said to watch it, like something about like strong, like black, like something about a strong woman in general. And I know you guys are all laughing right now. Like this is like serious because I grew up around not just strong women, but like strong women that are like intelligent and factual and will like beat you down with facts, but you cannot like just bullshit them to their face. They're gonna demand that respect of you. And it's like it's few and far in between. Like you get a strong, loud woman that's an idiot, or the other way around. It's few and far between. So it's hard to find that mix. But when you do, I think if you could think of that woman, it's not hard to see how in person you will respect her and you will do what she says, because that's just a human thing. When someone says something, if they have that air to them and you believe them, it will be real. And I think it's easier for men, because from that perspective to get there, it's easier for men to just get that bravado. But there are women who have it. And I think Kamala, as goofy as she is, has it. And she shows it in spurts. And I think when you get into those rooms, when it's no media, no cameras, and there's no journalist there, the only thing that the journalist knows is what the people tell him afterwards. It's not sweet. It's not friendly. It's not. It's a dance. It's a dance of chess, of respectfulness and strength. And I can tell you, the Democrats pushed out Joe Biden to put somebody in. And they knew, you think they put somebody in that can't even deal with that? Like, that's number one. Like, when you guys said that to me, that was a great point, and I sat and thought about that. Like, yeah, those countries won't like her. But then I kept thinking about it. And then I watched J.D. Vance and her debate. And then I, like, read about her as a district attorney and, like, her style. And then I thought about the fact that all those people kicked her out, and that there was also conversation of, like, Obama not even wanting to come. Like, if it's her, she can do the bear. Being able to talk to foreign countries, to sit in a face room to room with them and make them respect you, that is the bear. And that's just my opinion. That's a problem. Why is that a problem, Terrence? Yeah, you see how he's not answering? Delano, they're not going to stand on business. Delano, I won't hop on FaceTime yet because you watch Guarantee News consistently. I don't know how long you've been watching for. I'm about to get off. Do you have a question, Delano? Like, dead ass? I'll answer your question before I get off because you watch the stream every time. I'm gonna definitely answer your question if you have one. I'll wait for a little bit. If not, I'll keep talking. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even plan for this. I didn't think I'd do an episode plan. So if you guys thought I just bullshitted and lied for an hour and 42 minutes, I can tell you. I'll look at that Delano in a second. I can tell you, like, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I was not being unhonest. I was not trying to have an unfair argument. I was not trying to joke with you guys or say something that I didn't feel comfortable bringing up with statistics. And anytime I ignored a question or anytime I didn't answer a question, you guys are my friends, bro. I'm just gonna say it. I'm tired a little bit now. I haven't smoked all shit. I didn't want to say that on stream, but like, I'm tired, bro. It was a dumb question. I feel like it was dumb, and the only way I would have it to you is in person, because I'm not gonna do it on stream. And I don't think it'll get me more views, and I don't think it'll make a good clip. Not dumb saying you're dumb, because none of you are dumb. The question was dumb. I ask dumb questions sometimes. Everybody does. And when I ask dumb questions, people ignore me. And it hurts for 5 minutes, and I get over it. So whatever. The people that want to see him live like myself, say the FaceTime for later. Give me 30 seconds. Let me think. Bro, Delano, take your time, bro. No, don't take your time, actually, because I am tired. You do got, like, 45 seconds. But, yeah, man, I mean, I'm saying, like, I mean, honestly, honest opinion, bro. Vote for who you vote for. Just be curious about why you're voting for them. Don't be honest with yourself about the shit that they do and what's wrong with them. And be able to stand on business about that. Even with that, you're going to choose to vote for them. And I respect that. Don't fucking piss on me and tell me it's rain. I know it's like an 80-year-old comment, but you see it. I know you see it. And don't make me feel like I'm some, like, oh, goody, like, weird, for the truth. Oh, fuck the truth. For, like, saying, like, no, they, like, for, like, making you look at it. That's all I'm saying. When we get into this group chat and the FaceTime, it's going to be a completely different vibe and a different Garrett, because I just put myself in a different mental mode. But that was journalistic Garrett. If you think I was lying, if you think I was being unfair, if you think I was being more left-leaning, sorry. I'm not sorry. I can type it all on. I can't type it. Now you know how I feel, pussy. Type it out. Type it out. Oh, I can't type it all on here. Oh. What's wrong with typing? What's wrong with type? Yeah, typing's annoying, isn't it? Typing's fucking annoying, isn't it? What's 3 attributes that make a great president? Great question. In no particular order, a very, very great ability to lie. This is in no particular order. And let me think a little bit. But I know that's on there. A great ability to lie. In your head, you care about what most of Americans need and want. And the meaning for, and that's why I said in your head, because the meaning of that, you can ask 2 people that and they can say it completely differently. But if those 2 people really feel like in their head, they really are doing what's best for the American people, I think that makes a great president. And I think you can tell when someone's saying that and it's believable, or when someone's just saying bullshit. I think one thing you can say about Trump is I think he truly does believe what he says. And I think for better or for worse, Camby's doing the good stuff. I mean, Camby, come on stream. Camby, like, that's let's do the X's for Trump, though, for that as well. But, yeah, I'd say the first one for sure is a great ability to lie. I think Kamala does have a good ability to lie, for sure. The ability to, or not even the ability, that what you're trying to do, you think is for the betterment of the American people, and you're not just into politics for money, show, attention, all that other bullshit that I think a lot of politicians are in it for now. You want to sit in the chair, you want to have, you're power hungry, whatever it is. You actually do care about the people of this country, and you want to put in a place of, and having one person do that is always a dangerous thing. That's why we have the executive branch, and that's why we have the judicial branch, or the executive is the president. Let me stop saying the branches. That's why we have Supreme Court, and that's why we have blah, blah, blah. I didn't even say a third one. You're too excited, Terrence. But that's oh, yeah. Like, that's why, because one person can't decide what to do with everything. You have to have those checks and balances. But I do think you should have a strong feeling that you're the one. The third of what makes a great president, you know, that's a good question. I'm going to say, I haven't really thought about that in this way. And I'm going to actually, that may be like one of the videos I do. I'm going to make a video that makes a good president. Off the top of my head, the third one, I would say, you know what's funny? Delano and Terrence, you guys don't even know what each other looks like. But like, Delano, you saying that was really funny. That was really funny. Very funny. Funnier than I think you know, Delano. But the third one, I would say, is people having a healthy fear. Not people, other countries and people that would mean to do wrong. Or I know that X is coming. Having a healthy fear of you. There has to be a respect that if you fuck with America, America fucks with you. And you will die. That has to be, I think that's pretty important. So those would be my 3. Good ability to lie. You truly believe what you're saying, and you're not just doing it for all the personal reasons that you could try to be president. And there's a ton of them. I could name 10. I could name 20, like, for sure. Because that's just human nature, to have power and want power and be corrupted by power and think, yeah. And for you to be able to instill a certain amount of fear. Obama did that fucking great. You know, I read somewhere Obama was the only president for his entire time in office went through entire war, which could be a reason to look bad on Obama and a reason to look good on him. But yeah, conversation for another day. Delano, that was a great question. Terrence, I can tell you, Terrence definitely cooks his chicken, or the chicken in his cribs are getting cooked, probably in just boiling water with salt and pepper, for a fact. That's a good read. Can't be the type to rub baby powder on her package. Delano, that was funny. That was just funny because it was outlandish. The chicken one was funny as hell, because Terrence probably does like chicken with salt and pepper and ketchup, for sure. All right, guys. Damn. Let's see. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you guys. Really, it was fun. Not that much, honestly. to be honest with you. Now, this was strictly journalistic gear. I did this as a journalistic thing because I feel like this is testing me. This is a good test for what will be to come, like when I have more people just saying I'm a liar and bullshitting. But thank you for watching. If you watch for a second, hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, I truly do appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Be safe. Be healthy. Have a good weekend. Don't just listen to one side without looking at the other side. Don't just think your side is 100% right. And if you're going to stand on your side, be able to stand on it knowing the rights and the wrongs, and then debate on those and feel like you're going to come out correct. Don't just debate on the other side is completely terrible and I'm all right. You're almost never going to be right. And in today's world, you're going to almost always be wrong. That was a good finish. I'm fucking good. I'll see you guys. That was a good. Terrence got arrested for starting at a dog post. Let me ask you this. If you don't like any of her. Okay. Yeah. I had a great intro and I'm not going to mess it up. I'll see you fucks.